All right, here we are with Molly Kubes. Hey, Molly!
Hey.
All right, I'm your host, Forrest Folan, and so excited today to bring in Molly, Reiki master, yoga teacher, health and wellness expert, teaches empowerment for women. And so if you are listening to this right now, either live or on the replay, definitely share this post and tag some of your women friends that you want to be empowered, that you want to help break through their limitations of the past, limitations of fear, limitations of self-doubt. You know, we all have those. And Molly is here to shine the light. And Molly, I've been preparing. I brought my yoga mat. I shaved my head just to get more tan. I found my Buddha beads.
Whoa, yeah.
I'm ready for Molly. Yes.
I'm excited.
Molly, so tell me about, yourself and how you got into this world of transformational coaching for women.
Yeah, well, it's a really interesting journey. I mean, I remember when I went into my first yoga class, and it was a hot yoga class, and I was really confused. And I remember they're just using all these different names, like animal names and nature names for the poses. And I was like, what is this? And I was like, I've never seen myself sweat that much either. But the funny thing is that I didn't go to yoga again until a few years after that. And when I started going at that time, again, it was really, really transformational for me. And when I stepped into those yoga classes later on, I was in like kind of a dark place. I mean, I was recreationally using a lot of substances. I was partying a lot. I was drinking. And I was just kind of like not really honoring myself. And I guess I was kind of seeking something deeper. And yoga really gifted that to me. And when I went into that yoga class, my second yoga class, I knew that was a part of my path. And I knew that was something I really wanted to share. And it just brought me so much growth, like so much growth. And it led me into Reiki, which is a Japanese method of energy healing. And I got my Reiki certification right away. And it was just a huge transformational journey for me. And like the results that like the opening and everything that I was able to go into was just so amazing and so beautiful that I knew this was part of my purpose to really share this and to like share this with others and just know that there's so much potential for us to really come into happiness and come into peace and alignment, and that is possible. And I didn't even know like the type of joy or bliss that I was able to really be in until I started to practice all of these more ancient Eastern methods of healing. And it's just been a really amazing experience for me to go through all of this. So yeah.
That's awesome, because my expertise is in health and wellness, often starting with the body, but then moving to the mind. And so many people are approaching things like weight loss and fitness from the body. And my background is I trained with the Taoist master through my martial arts training. And what I found out from him and through my journey with that is that underneath our body, our bones, our muscles, our organs is an energy system that either flowing or it's stagnant. And when it's stagnant, that stagnation, wherever the block is, that could be emotional stagnation, that could be like a past trauma, that could be a fear. The stagnant energy leads to you being not at ease or disease, right? Yeah. Where disease can occur, physical disease, mental and emotional diseases can occur. What has been, your experience with things like that, Mom?
Yeah, well, it's really interesting because I find that things manifest on the energetic level before they manifest in the physical or even emotional level. So if there's something going on, it's really important to take care of it energetically first, and then so that it doesn't manifest in the physical. And a lot of times when we have like some sort of like physical discomfort, it can be from something that has manifested in the energetic field, and we just never had the ability to take care of it. So yeah, it can, like, I feel like like taking care of your energy body, your energetic health and wellness is like really important and something that we don't necessarily really talk about. And it's just like a really, really powerful practice. And I think it's something that needs to become even more mainstream. I mean, it is becoming mainstream right now. But even more, you know, like it's just something that we really need to tune into and really help to clear and really learn how to balance ourselves so that we can always maintain energetic alignment. So
I love that term, your energy body, right?
Yeah.
You can picture it in your mind, and we all have that energy body. And some people are like, what's that? It's too new agey for me to understand that energy stuff, and that's too voodoo or woo-woo. But for me, like everybody's experienced energy because everyone has walked into a room where two couples, they weren't even speaking, but you know there was something wrong. You know they were fighting beforehand. Even though there was no verbal dialogue, you felt it in the air. It was palpable, right? And that's an example of just picking up on the energy dynamic of what's in the room. And whether we know it or not, there's so much going on beyond our five senses that, you know, we couldn't possibly be able to really understand what's going on. Even in this moment right now, there's so much going on in your world as you're watching this, but your five senses are only picking up so much, right? So for somebody watching, Molly, what's some practical things that they can do just to get their energy flowing and get into more alignment?
Well, the first thing that's coming to mind is to be empowered with your energy body. And something like you're saying, like if you walk into a room and there's like funky energy going on, like someone just had a fight or like, you know, like just something that's not ideal. A lot of times people think like, oh, I'm just going to take on this energy and like, or they do that on a subconscious level. They just kind of like take on that heavy energy. But something that I like to teach and I like to empower people is to really know that you have the ability to shift the energy in the room and that you don't necessarily have to be affected by it. And that you have the power to really come into your own inner self and notice what is yours, what's not yours, what is an effect from your environment, and really allow yourself to be empowered to shift the energy in the room, that you can actually, you know, like spread love and like joy and everything just with your presence. And you know what I mean? Like just you going inwards. And this takes a lot of practice and everything. And one way that you can do this is to always check in to you, like always take time for yourself, whether that's like alone time and like without any sort of distraction, like doing some sort of meditation practice where you really go inward. Like we need that inward time every single day. And this can be in Shavasana, like the final pose in your yoga practice. This can be, you know, in meditation. This can be in prayer. This can be in a multitude of different ways. But, you know, we really need that time to slow down and like go inside, like close your eyes and go into your own inner space, because we're so bombarded by our outer space and like our environment and action and things going on that we're not taking the time to really go inward. And once you go inside, you can get in touch with who you really are. And then once you're in touch with that, then you can help to shift outside of yourself. So yeah, hopefully all that made sense.
You know, I wish they would teach this in schools. I mean, this has to be taught inside the school system, because what we're doing is we've become, as a civilization, overstimulated and over-influenced. Right? Like my daughter, I mean, when she would watch these Disney shows, not the cartoons, but like the Disney show, like where they have like the parent and the kid dynamic of these shows, my daughter would have like a major attitude. I remember when she would watch these shows at age 7, age 8, age 9. And I had to turn off that Disney Channel because I'm like, you're not giving me that attitude. Heck no. Like, you are not watching that Disney no more.
Oh my God.
Because she would just absorb that. But now she's 14 and now she's absorbing just, you know, the dynamic from all the other kids that you have to kind of live up to expectations, and you have to keep a certain image. And we all do that as adults, as kids. We all have to keep up the expectations. We're all overstimulated. So, and I think if you know, it'd be great if you can help clarify, Molly, too, because some people get caught up in meditation being something that's like religious, or, you know, you have to be like a certain religious background to do it. But from my understanding, and let me know if I'm wrong, is that any religion or no religion can practice meditation. It's not about a belief, it's about an experience of quieting down the mind. And you know, as long as you can focus on one thing, be it like your third eye with your eyes closed, or a candle flame, or even like it could be as simple as like this piece of tape, right? Just focusing on something that simple. And when your mind wanders, then you bring it back. And then your mind wanders again, and you bring it back.
Yeah.
And that keeps happening. And the first thing is just to get used to the mind wandering. But then after a while, your mind strengthens and focus, and you're able to sit. So Molly, what would you say to that? Like, you know, the misunderstandings of meditation in general.
Yeah, I actually love this topic because I feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding about meditation. And like you're saying, like meditation is kind of this focus, and anyone can practice it. You don't have to be a certain religion or background. Like anyone can do it. It's just basically taking time to go inside. And one thing I heard about meditation is that it's also known as relaxed awareness. So you're allowing yourself to be relaxed and aware and present. And one of the most like beneficial things about meditation is that the more you take this time to come into this state of being, this relaxed state of being, this relaxed and aware state of being, then you can bring that into your everyday life. You know, you can bring it into your relationships. You can bring it into any creative projects. You can bring it into your business, into like how you eat your food, like, and it just makes your life more enjoyable. Just having that relaxed presence where you're not stressed out or tense, because one benefit of meditation is it actually allows you to relax the tension in your body, you know, by really being present with your body and allowing it to relax. And it just allows you to be more present, and you can be more aware. You can have a more broad awareness versus like reaction.
I don't want to interrupt you. What you're saying is right on, but it's almost like when you meditate regularly, it literally changes the landscape of your life.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many things affected, and it's just and it's real. I've experienced it. Because I've lived the life of non-meditator, and I've lived the life of meditator, and inconsistent meditator somewhere in between. But I know that when I'm meditating regularly, and by that I mean about 20 minutes or so a day at least of silence and just going inward, everything is affected in my life. How I react to certain circumstances, the energy I come into, like the room, like the control that I have, my mental clarity, it changes everything.
Yeah.
What has been your experience with just that whole thing, Molly?
Yeah, well, exactly what you're saying. Like mental clarity has been huge. Not reacting. I noticed once I started to develop a more deep, like regular yoga practice, and I would be in cars with people when they would drive, and they would just be so angry, and everyone like passing them and like honking and just like reacting in so many different ways, like over and over and over again. And like I was like so chill. And it like doesn't even faze me. I'm like, oh, whatever. Like they were having a bad day. Like maybe they're rushing, and it like doesn't even bother me, you know.
Yeah.
And like a lot of other people, like I noticed that they're just like react. And I used to be that way too. And I noticed that once I started to develop a more regular meditation practice, it just became a lot easier. And also one of the beneficial things is I found that people's opinions or words or like things they would say about me or something, like if something were to happen, like it wouldn't affect me. I just like wouldn't care as much. And that was pretty huge. It's like someone would say like a comment and it would say something, and I was just like, oh, whatever, like that's something that's going on with them, or like even like take it, like I wouldn't take it to heart. It wouldn't make me feel any less worthy or anything. It would just be like okay, like you know what I mean? Like that was something that really changed.
If somebody honks at you when you're driving or gives you a dirty look or whatever, you know, oftentimes it can affect you mentally for hours, and for some people, like it'll wreck their whole day, and they'll take that on. And really, that's their trip. That's not your trip. And so, if you're taking on that kind of energy from other people, you're just getting absorbed into their world instead of creating your own.
Yeah.
You know. So, so taking it back now, Molly, because your expertise is helping women break past their limitations. What are some simple steps to be able to do that? Or maybe, you know, explain to us how you go about doing that with yourself or your clients.
Yeah. One practice that's really deep is to look at the different identities that you have created for yourself. And we are constantly in modes of different identity. And this is going into like the ego self, like the I self. And a lot of us are really focused in this area, and we don't take time to come into the infinite self, which is the Tao that I know that you're connected to as well. And basically it's like there's all these different identities, and a lot of them aren't beneficial for us. So it could be like I am stupid, or like I am unworthy, like things like that. And it's kind of like, it's like, okay, like how are you subconsciously programming your brain into believing these identities that aren't beneficial for you, and how are they consistently coming up in your life, and how can you break free of them? And basically it's kind of like, where in your life are you feeling kind of stuck? And maybe it's like finding love, for example. Maybe you're having trouble to find a relationship. And a lot of times I notice is that when we have like trouble really finding a relationship, it's because we're not in a full state of love for ourselves. And if you really want to find a relationship that is beneficial for both parties, where it's like a very thriving, amazing relationship, you have to know that you are already loved, you're already worthy, nothing needs to change, like you are already whole, you don't need someone to make you feel whole. And a lot of times people are in this mindset and this identity that they're not whole because they don't have their soulmate, or they don't have their perfect partner. But it's like, we need to come into this wholeness now, and then you will attract someone else who's already in that wholeness as well. So it's like kind of going into the mindset and like, where do you feel like you're not worthy, and how can we shift that into something that's going to actually benefit you and like take you forward in life. So the mindset shift is huge. And like really going deep into that, and like seeing how you can shift it, how you can shift your identities. And that's been a really transformational practice for some of the people I've worked with, and really helping them shift their lives. Even like being an addict or something, like a lot, we're like, I am an addict, and then we identify as that. And then it's like really hard to break free from that, because then it's like, then you have to change, and change is scary. But it's like,
and the words that we're thinking, it's like somebody might not say like, I am an addict in their mind, but they might say like, I'm a wine drinker. I love my wine. And even though like you're drinking like a bottle a night, and you would rather like start working out and start eating healthy, the fact that you believe like, I'm a wine drinker, it creates an identity for you. And you only go so far in life as your identity, how you subconsciously identify with yourself, which is just the picture in your mind. The ego is not your real self, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's incredible. Do you practice any daily rituals, Molly? Like yourself? Like, what are some of the daily rituals that you do?
Rituals have been like such a game changer for me, and I'm sure you've probably experienced this too. Like having a morning ritual has just been like so amazing. And for me, I practice Ashtanga yoga right now. I practice the primary and half of secondary series. And that is a very traditional form of asana yoga, which is a more like pose-based and vinyasa practice, which means you're like moving in a certain way very consistently. So I practice that for like an hour and 15 minutes every morning, probably like 5 days a week. And then I meditate after that. And depending on what I need, so right now I'm working on strengthening my sacral chakra, which is the hara point. And I'm sure you know about this through martial arts. So I do these sacral chakra exercises. And then I do a breathing exercise, which is really amazing, which is this alternate nostril breath. And I probably do that like 20 rounds on each side. And then after that, after I come home from my practice, I make sure that I tune into the vibration that I want to be feeling, whether that's like abundance or love or connection or something. I take a moment and really feel into that, like always like check in, like see where I'm at, like see maybe I need to do a gratitude practice or something. And then I just like feel that vibration and just trying to like send that loving energy out. And then I start my day, and then I do like my work and stuff from there.
I love that. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
What if everybody started their day like that? Like, what if that was just a common practice? I mean, imagine what the world would be like when we started our day on purpose like that, with changing from the inside and then projecting that outside through our intention. That's powerful. Thank you so much, Molly. That was amazing right there.
Yeah. What are your morning rituals? I'm just curious.
Yeah, well, first I plunge into a bath of sub-zero temperature water.
No way. That's awesome. I want to do that.
No, I'm just kidding. You know,
but I've heard of that where you go into like really cold, like right
yeah. That's actually becoming more popular. That type of I do sometimes do the hot cold showers.
Yeah.
It's 30 seconds cold and then it's 2 minutes hot. And what that does is it changes the blood flow. And if you're ending the shower, you do it like 3 or 4 times through, and it's like your whole body just vibrates with you know, you're shivering, you're cold. Yeah. But it changes you energetically too. Your physiology has to do a lot with your mind, and there's a link between your body and your mind, right? So when you do that and you end the shower on a cold and you get out, then you're going to be very energized. If you do that and you end the shower on a hot, then you'll come out and you'll sleep really, really well. So, I like to do that one. I like to lift weights. I definitely been practicing yoga and meditation. Also journaling I've found is been very beneficial for me to journal. And something I learned from Brian Grasso, and I've also done it in the past, is just have a mental movie, or what Brian Grasso calls imagination theater, where you're practicing a visualization about what you're trying to attract into your life, and get really crystal clear and create a movie in your mind. And that has been helpful to me.
Yeah, awesome. So important to have a ritual like something like that, you know?
Yes. Molly, why do you think that we hold on to our fears and our self-doubts and sometimes even our misery? Why do we hold on so tightly to that stuff?
Yeah, well, there's so many different reasons. Like sometimes it could be something that is manifested in the body, and maybe we need to open up the body through like, you know, a multitude of different ways, and that can really help. Sometimes we're afraid of change for ourselves or for maybe what other people might think of us. We're afraid to really expand into our true nature or true light. And like maybe because of past fears of maybe what people would think of us, or like what people would do to us, or like what people would think, or things like that. And like maybe it's just a lesson that you need to go through, you know, like maybe it's something that you need to go through and overcome so that you can help to serve others through this, or you know, maybe there's just like something that will dramatically shift your life. Like it's okay to be feeling like a lot like these fears and everything, like we all go through it, but it's like, yeah, it's really like just not clinging to it, being able to move into that flow energy and really allowing yourself to kind of let go of like the things that you need to let go of. And yeah, there's multiple different ways that you can do this, like moving into that more flow state, and, you know, asking for help too. That can be really important. You know?
Yeah. A lot of times we try to do it on our own.
Yeah.
At least I can say that for guys. For men, we always try to do it on our own, and we, you know, it's like you can't expect to lift yourself up by your own bootstraps, is what they say, because, you know, it takes that you know, that perspective outside of yourself a lot of times to be able to lift yourself up, and especially somebody that like yourself, Molly, a coach who's been there, who's felt those blocks and has moved past them into different capacities in your life. So that's incredible. How do people work with you? Like when you bring somebody in under a coaching situation, like what is that process like?
Yeah, well, right now I have a program called Passionately on Purpose. And basically there's video content that takes you through each of the chakras. So there's movement exercises that you can do, there's meditations, and there's education on how you can bring the 7 main energy centers into balance. And then we work together personally. So I do like mentoring, and I help to kind of see like where some of the limitations are and how we can break free from them, and just like, you know, empowering you to know that it's possible to break through like a lot of this stuff. And I also work on an energetic level, which I think is really important too. So I also do distance Reiki, and I tune into like what's going on in your chakras. I help to move the energy to where it needs to go, and then like give you some personal exercises on what you can do to strengthen an energy center that might be weak or might be feeling stuck or stuff like that. So it's like on a personal level, like a more like diving deep, and then a more energetic level as well. So that's kind of how I like to work with people. And I find that to be really beneficial, having the energetic component too. So yeah.
Big time. I'm actually going to search in the email. I think you sent me an email, right?
Did I?
Did you send me any information on your program? I'd love to share a link or something.
Yeah, I sent it on, I think through Facebook Messenger.
Oh, through Facebook? Yeah, I'll check on that. Because that'd be cool if I could just post a link up and then people can just drop right in and check it out.
Yeah.
How do you do Reiki though online, or you just give people chakra exercises to do?
How do I do Reiki online?
Yeah, or is it just mostly like you're giving them chakra exercises to do themselves?
Yeah, I do distance Reiki. So distance Reiki is really interesting. Basically, I can tune into your energy fields from anywhere in the world. I can tune into like your energy body through myself. It's just like a certain technique where I can actually tune into you, which is really, really interesting and powerful. And the first time I learned distance Reiki, I remember I was like, what the fuck? Like, my Reiki master was literally like, so Reiki number 2 means that you learn how to transcend energy through space and time. And I was like, what? And then he did a session on me, and I was across the room. And what happens when you receive Reiki is you can get really tired. And I literally almost fell asleep. And I was like, why am I falling asleep? And it was because my Reiki master was doing Reiki on me. And I was like, wow, like this is really, really powerful. And so that's kind of like, that's what I do. I can tune into your energy field. I can tune into your chakras through my own. And then I just can kind of diagnose what chakras are active, what chakras are receiving energy. A lot of times when one chakra is blocked, it doesn't allow the other ones to open. So for example, if maybe you're not speaking your truth, then you can have a blockage in the throat chakra. This can also occur through like lying, like holding back. Pardon?
Gossiping, or like just talking about things that aren't worthwhile, you know?
Not listening. That's another way too. Not listening to yourself, not listening to others, just always talking. That can be another way that can cause like a malfunction in the throat chakra. And say that chakra is blocked, you know, maybe you're really open in the upper chakras and then there's a blockage here. The energy isn't going to be able to flow into the heart chakra or flow into the lower chakras. So if one chakra is out of whack, then like other chakras can be out of whack as well.
That makes sense. It's gonna affect everything. It's like a dynamic web that everything is interlinked, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you have a knee problem, it's gonna end up being a hip problem at some point because you're limping around on that knee.
Yeah.
You know, the energy body can be like that too. So that's fascinating. I definitely want to learn more. I want to sign up for your program. I want to get my wife, my kids, like that sounds awesome, because I know how powerful that is to work with the energy systems of the body, and then on top of that, work with the interpersonal dynamic of, you know, the other types of exercises that you do. So that's fantastic. I just put the link right here, Molly. I put the link below.
Awesome.
And so this is where people can go. So if you're listening to this now or on the replay, go to the link, click on that. You can learn about, you know, Molly's coaching, her program. Tell me the name of it one more time, Molly.
It's called Passionately on Purpose. And the reason why it's called this is because I've added in this action component. So I find that the greatest transformation happens when you do the work, you go inside, you find that inner alignment, and then from there, you have something that you can be of service from. So you have something that you can take action, like something that you feel like is a part of your purpose, and we'll really work together on this to find what that is, like something that you're good at, something that provides value to people, something that you're just really connected to. And I find that once we put ourselves into that situation of going after that sacred service, then this is like one of the most powerful things that you can do. And it kind of forces you to find that alignment as well. It kind of really allows you to break free from those limitations, let yourself be seen, let yourself be heard, which I find is a common thing with women, not really allowing themselves to be seen or heard because of fear, and really letting your light shine. And it can be a really beautiful practice of merging together that inner work, that divine feminine work, with the divine masculine, of taking action on something that's really powerful for you. So that's why it's called Passionately on Purpose. And
I love that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, if you're watching right now and you're listening to Molly and you resonate with what she's saying, I definitely recommend jumping on board with her coaching program. It's only going to end up in a good way for you, because you're going to be doing the inner work that you need to do, but maybe you've been avoiding. It's time to stop avoiding that. The only way to move forward in life and to get unstuck and to release yourself from the overwhelm and all the stress that you've been feeling is by doing this type of work. It's not by reading another book. It's not by watching another TV show. It's not by running laps around the block over and over. You have to come into yourself, and you have to go with an expert like Molly to be able to do that. So click the link, sign up with this girl. She's going to change your life.
Yeah. What you'll do is you'll just book a call with me, and I'm offering everyone listening, everyone who goes into the page, a free breakthrough session. So this just allows us to kind of go through some of your blockages and see like how I can best support you. And then through there, we'll see if this program is a good fit for you. So if anything, you'll definitely get a lot of value out of connecting with me. And yeah, so I'm super excited.
Awesome. Thank you. In closing, Molly, what's that one message that you can send out to that woman out there? Maybe she's stuck. Maybe she's on the fence with life. Maybe she's just overwhelmed. I mean, there's so much going on with, like, even yesterday, the mass shootings in Las Vegas. Our heart goes out so deeply to all these people in pain. And I know so many people that are just like mothers that are afraid to raise their kids in a scary world, or just people that are afraid to get out of bed sometimes, and they're putting on a smile and they're facing the day, but behind all that, there's that deep-rooted fear. What's that last message that we can send across?
Yeah, I just got chills as you were saying that, and my message that's coming is to, like, don't be afraid to be authentic. Don't be afraid to be yourself, because, like, you are the only one of you in this world. And I find that a lot of pain comes from us not being able to fully express ourselves in the way that we authentically want to. Like, we think that we should be a certain way because society tells us, or we think that we should do certain things because that's what everyone else is doing. But, like, don't be afraid to do what you want to do. Like, don't be afraid to step into your own sense of empowerment and to be yourself and to share your message, and just know that, like, you don't have to be happy all the time. Like, it's okay to honor, like, your fears, to honor your anger, to honor those emotions, and know that these are paths for you to really grow into the fullest expression of your being. And just be okay with that, like, don't be so hard on yourself. But, like, it's okay to just be who you are. And the more we come into that, the more healing is going to come. So.
Yes. Thank you so much, Molly. Molly, you're a young lady with a wise old soul. And I love that. You have a lot of passion, you exude happiness, and you attract people that want to be better and want to raise their awareness, want to raise their consciousness. So thank you so much for showing up in the world as your highest version of yourself. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of bravery, and this, and we'll stay in contact. We're talking about possibly collaborating on a book together.
I know, so excited.
Yeah, so we're gonna send our energy that way, and make that manifest, that make that happen. It's just such an honor to have you as a friend. And Kira Palme, want to give her a big shout out. Kira Palme connected us. She's coached both of us, and we want to thank Kira as well. Yeah, right? She's amazing.
Yeah.
So Molly. Yeah. Molly Kubes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such an honor and a pleasure to be here. So I really, really appreciate connecting and yeah, namaste. You're
Thank
beautiful.
you, Molly. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. All right, you take care.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye.